explain to us what we out here doing today.
I think just bring awareness of what we've been taught versus what the truth is.
Okay. That's what this parade is about?
No.
Okay, so what the parade about?
Just having a good time.
You name it, it's here.
Well, we out here celebrating. You know, they throwing noodles and moon pies and all this going on.
This is a parade where they throw anything. You liable to catch some weed up out here, a few couple of shots, a turkey, it don't matter.
You said a turkey?
A turkey.
Yeah, I stay right here.
So
this my house. I've been here 35 years, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Hold on, let me get this shot right here. They got me some kinky, man. I ain't kinky, but hey, it get kinky.
Hey, what's going on, family? It's back with another edition of Cuts from the Streets. We out here at Mardi Gras in Mobile, Alabama. It's our third year being here, and we out here to find out what the people know about the history and why do we celebrate the same things that our oppressors celebrate. So we're gonna have some good conversation, we're gonna get some good instruction, and we're gonna get out some good wisdom to the people. And that's a cut.
Well, what do you think Mardi Gras represents?
I want to say a yearly celebration of like fun festivities, stuff like that. Yeah, that's like it.
Fun and festivities. Okay.
A yearly celebration of fun and festivities.
So you do this every year?
Yeah, basically.
How long have you been doing it?
17 years.
Say it again.
17 years.
How old are you now?
17.
17 years. So you've been doing this all your life then?
Who am I here with today?
Easy.
Easy. Okay, so Easy. What we out here doing today?
Celebrating this Trinity Garden Parade.
So what is the history behind the Trinity Garden Parade? You know anything about it?
It's just one community. Everybody come out here and have a good time.
So who's the community that we referring to when we're talking about the Trinity Garden Parade? Who's that talking about?
Yeah, Trinity Garden itself, black people. Everybody over here come together and have one good day.
So why don't black folks and white folks have they parades together? Why don't they do that?
We just had the parade downtown, white folk and black folk together. But Trinity Garden for the black people.
Okay. So why is that? Why is that though?
Man, I know white folks stay over in the Trinity Garden community, man. It's a black community.
So when you look back into the history of it, right? Initially, our people weren't allowed to participate in their Mardi Gras parade. Why do you think that was?
That's why the Trinity Garden, we have our own thing. That's what this for.
So then you would recognize that this is essentially us copying what the white people was already doing, right?
No, this is us having our own thing.
So who was doing it first, them or us?
I don't know, man. I don't know about all that.
What does celebrating Mardi Gras mean to you?
Oh, it means family partying and a good time.
Family partying and a good time?
Yeah.
Can you give me some history on what it goes, like the real Mardi Gras, what it stands for? Because I see that's going on, but what's like some history? Why do we celebrate Mardi Gras?
I want to say it's freedom from when our ancestors were slaves. This was their way of celebrating when they got free.
Mardi Gras was a way of celebrating when we got free?
Yeah.
So, do you know like some of the names of the parades? They have various names, right? One of them is actually called Chew Bacchus, and one of them's called the Parade of Bacchus. You never heard that?
I never heard.
Do you think this is a positive event or a negative event?
Well, it depends on how far back people take it.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, some people know the original origins of it, and some people don't. So it depends on how far they take it.
Okay, could you tell me what your thoughts are, or what's your knowledge of the origination of Mardi Gras?
Well, I don't know too much. I just celebrate it for real. I haven't really dived deep into the studies of it or nothing like that, so I can't really say.
Okay. And fair enough. So you would say that your parents is the one, or who taught you Mardi Gras, or how did you come across Mardi Gras, or you get what I'm saying?
Fairly, my family really, when I was first introduced to it, so yeah.
Say it again?
When I was first introduced to it, it was mostly my family telling me about it and stuff, so yeah.
Okay. So do you believe that we can find reasons that we shouldn't follow Mardi Gras in the Bible?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's a black thing though. We took over. If they did it first, we took it over.
Okay. So we did it bigger and better, right? That's what you're saying? So when we looking into certain things like this, what is this all about, essentially? What is this all about? What's the message behind this parade?
I don't think it really no messages, you know what I'm saying? Here, you know, people come out and have a good time. Celebrate each other.
Okay. So when the Bible talks about celebrations such as this, what does it say about something like this? What does it talk about?
So you said what the Bible say about this?
About celebrations like this. Does it condone celebrations like this, or does it condemn celebrations like this?
I think it condone it, but, you know, everybody ain't, you know what I'm saying? Everybody on the Christian thing.
So are you?
I mean, I go to church, but, you know.
Okay. Now, I'm going to show you something real quick in the Bible. Let me get Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 22. All right? Because a lot of our people don't know the history behind these things, and that's why they celebrate it. I want to show you something.
What we read right now.
Read.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 23. 22. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God.
So our people out here are erring in the knowledge of God because they don't know how to properly serve God. Come on.
But whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance.
So this is one of the devices of ignorance that Satan has put out there. Satan being him, the spirit, and his seed, like we read about in Genesis. Okay, come on.
Those so great plagues called they peace.
So the Bible says that something like this would be considered a plague. Read.
Verse 24. Verse 23. Verse 23. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices.
So what a lot of these customs date back to is slaying our children in sacrifices, right? Come on. Because when I was walking up here, I seen Plan Bs on the ground. They be passing those out during the parade. Come on.
Or use secret ceremonies.
There are secret ceremonies that run these organizations that hand out the stuff to give to the people, right?
Yeah. Or made revelings of strange rites.
So it says, or made revelings or partyings of strange rites, strange customs. Read.
They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled.
See that? And some people come out here and they commit adultery. They come out here looking for their side piece. They come out here with their boo thing, right? It said they don't keep those things defiled anymore. Let me get Leviticus 18 and 30. What does the Bible say about such customs? Because when you look into the history of it, our people did not originally keep this feast day or this celebration, right? This was started by French people, and it was a celebration of them making it through their first year here in Mobile. Read that, Leviticus 18 and 30.
Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 30. Therefore shall ye keep mine ordinance, that ye commit not any one of these abominable customs.
So it says that we should be keeping God's laws instead of doing what?
These abominable customs.
So the customs that are against God, like what we just read, God said that they're abominable. You understand? Come on.
Which were committed before you.
They were committed when?
Before you.
Remember, we talked about how white people was doing this first, right? Come on.
And that ye defile not yourselves therein.
And we're not supposed to defile ourselves by doing the things that the other nations do.
Did you know that we can read about Mardi Gras and the festivities of what we see in the Bible?
I know they say in the Bible it's a sin. I do know that, but anything is a sin.
Anything's a sin?
Anything is a sin.
Okay, so how about, what if the Lord gave us certain days to actually come together on that have, they're written in the Bible? That's not a sin, is it?
No.
Right. So let's get to understanding real quick. I'm going to show you real quick just 2 scriptures on Mardi Gras in the Bible. And should we be celebrating and should we not be celebrating, okay?
Okay.
All right, let me get that 2 Maccabees 6. So we're going to read in the Bible a little bit about what we out here celebrating. Because, all this, we don't read nowhere in the Bible it's telling us to go on these floats and be throwing weed and turkeys and moon pies, right?
No.
Right, so let's get that. 2 Maccabees?
2 Maccabees chapter 6 verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of the Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers.
Right, so Athens is found in Greece, right?
Yeah.
Athens is found in Greece, and it says he sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the law of their fathers. Now, I don't know if you knew this, but according to the Bible, it's Black history. we are the real Jews according to the Bible. This is in the time of the Greeks. They sent a man to compel us to go away from the law of our fathers. Some of those days I mentioned that we are supposed to keep. Now check this out. Remember, one of the parades is literally called Bacchus. There's another one called True Bacchus. All right, read that, verse 7.
Verse 7. And in that day of the king's birth, every month they were bought by bitter constraint.
So it's saying that the king, are you listening? Okay. It says the king celebrated his birthday every month, and this is something they did. Read.
And in that day of the king's birth, every month they were bought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying Ivan.
So it's saying that we were compelled, we were forced to go and celebrate this idolatrous feast. That's why, this really don't got nothing to do with black culture. It's Black History Month, but all these floats going on and what our people out here doing, is it godly or would you say it's against God?
It's definitely against God.
It's definitely against God?
It's definitely against God.
Right, so we're going to read one more scripture for you, sis, just something to meditate on, to bring home with you, Matthew 15:3. Because the Lord gave us, this a whole chapter in the Bible on days we are supposed to keep. It's in the book of Leviticus chapter 23. And you read various days like the Sabbath day, Passover, and such, right? But this is what Christ told us to do. Read.
The book of Matthew chapter 15 verse 3. But he answered and said unto them, why do you also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition?
So remember, it says that the Jews were compelled to go against the commandment, which is their culture given by God, and that when we keep these traditions, it's actually going against God, right? And we're going away from our culture. So would you say, based on the scripture and some history, this is something we should be celebrating out here for black folk?
No.
So if I showed you in the Bible that you should be following or celebrating other high holy days, would you quit celebrating Mardi Gras?
I don't know. I think it became a trend for me, so I don't know.
You can't outgrow a trend?
I just like, I like seeing everybody together doing stuff, especially the community coming together to, not trip, not kill each other, all that stuff. It just bring everybody together for me.
Okay. So let me give you this. I'm gonna give you this. Now, do you believe in Jesus Christ?
Yes, always.
Okay. So now watch this. Hey, give me Luke chapter 4 verse 17. Yeah, middle. There you go. Now I know that it may be difficult not to drop the tradition of Mardi Gras, but just listen to this, right? You believe in Jesus Christ just like I believe in him, right? This could be your first step to letting go of that tradition. So this is what Jesus Christ, his tradition was, right? His culture. Read what you got.
The book of Luke chapter 4 and verse 15. And he taught in their synagogues, being glorified of all. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read.
So do you know what customs mean?
No, explain.
Okay, custom is like what's going on right now. Mardi Gras is so-called black people's custom, right? Because think about it, you've been celebrating this for how long?
17 years.
17 years. Mardi Gras would be your custom. You get what I'm saying? Christ's custom, Jesus Christ's custom was what?
And he went and he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read.
So do you know what day is the Sabbath day?
Not off the top of my head, no.
You don't know? That's fine. We're gonna show you what the Sabbath day is, right? So, and then also, do you know what Jesus Christ looked like?
Black man.
He's a black man, right? So a black man's custom is what?
To what you said?
We finna get what's the Sabbath day, all right? Then we're gonna show you what day it is and his custom. So you follow up that because you said you wanted to be a follower of Jesus Christ because you believe in him, right? We want to show you the day he went into the synagogue, which is the church. You get what I'm saying? And we want to give you all the information to kind of catch you up, right? Read what you got.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
What is that? The Sabbath day. Remember, in the last verse, it said Christ went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
So think about it. What is Sunday considered?
Church days.
That's the church day, but if you saw Sunday on a calendar, where would it be? Would it be Sunday be at the beginning of the week or at the end of the week?
The last day of the week.
Okay. Let me help you out. You got your phone or I can pull it up for you? You got a phone? This will help you. Okay. This right here, this the Google, right? The Google Calendar. Where is Sunday?
Right here. The first day.
Sunday is what?
The first day.
So it's the first day, remember, right? Remember. Sunday is day 1 of the week, right?
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
So if you count from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is what day?
The last day.
Which is the
seventh day.
All right, read on.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
So you shouldn't be working today.
Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth.
So that's the reason why you shouldn't be shouldn't be working on the Sabbath, which is what day? What's today?
Saturday.
Today is considered what day though?
The Sabbath day.
And what number of the day of the week?
The last day.
That's the last day, the 7th day, right? So go back to Luke chapter 4. And we're going to, and this is real good information for you. You feel what I'm saying? Read what you got.
Luke chapter 4 and verse 16. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read.
So that's what your custom's supposed to be.
And who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
Kenyatta.
Kenyatta. All right, so explain to us what we out here doing today.
I think just bring awareness of what we've been taught versus what the truth is.
Okay. That's what this parade is about?
No.
Okay, so what the parade about?
Just having a good time.
Okay.
But I did also explain it to my kids when we were out here. I was like, in actuality, we should be doing more with our time versus what we were taught to just kind of celebrate, people like throwing stuff off of a float, because if you go back into history, that's how they did like the slave and stuff. So
that's good.
Doing what we're accustomed to, just
So I like that you mentioned that. I want to talk about the history behind this particular parade, because you were local, right? Mm-hmm. So what's the history behind the parade? Do you know any of that history?
No, I just know that it's the last parade of the season. That's all I know. So that's why me and my kids come.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Was this a copycat of what white people were doing with their own parade?
I can see that because of like the way their masks are, the way they covered versus like how like the KKK is covered in like the similar masks and stuff. So I can kind of see that.
So if you weren't aware already, I'm gonna give you a little bit of history, okay? In 1706, pay attention to that year now. 1706, the French celebrated the first Mardi Gras in Mobile as a way to celebrate their first full year here in Mobile. In 1706, where were our people?
We were still in slavery.
So were we celebrating Mardi Gras?
No.
You see that thing right there? So our people were in slavery when this custom began. You understand? So with that being understood, Why do black people always want to copy the things that they see their oppressors doing? Why do you think we do that? Because we do that, you see, with the parade. We do that with things like we want to get rich and famous. That's what they had already. We want to play sports. Originally, those sports was done by only white people. When you look far back enough, football, basketball, baseball, they didn't include black folks. Even with your Divine Nine, with the sorority, you got Alpha Phi Alpha, you got Kappa Alpha Psi, you got Deltas, you got Sigmas, all that stuff. All of that we did copying white people.
All right, Ramon, so listen, what is Mardi Gras to you? What does Mardi Gras mean to you?
A tradition where everybody get together. I guess to celebrate.
Okay, so would you say it's a child-friendly event?
Y'all, something like that.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Okay, do you have any children?
No.
Okay, if you did, would you bring them to an event like this?
Probably not.
What would make you bring them to this event, and why wouldn't you bring them to an event like this?
There's just too much going on in the city right now. Too many killing and stuff.
Too much killing, right? Okay, so are you saying that Mardi Gras isn't about gathering together or being at peace with each other?
Yeah, it is. I feel that way, y'all. For real, like, I don't know, it like coming together, but sometimes, you know, it's crazy folks out here that do stuff crazy, so, I mean, it's life. That's how life is, though. Can't control it, though.
So would you say that, so think about it, majority of the people out here are what color?
Black.
So do you think that this is just a black thing or it's a white thing? As far as the killing?
Black. That's how I feel, black. That's all I see.
Yeah.
Black folk.
Killing each other?
Yeah.
Even at Mardi Gras?
Yeah. Something just happened like that downtown the other night.
Yeah.
So, it's number black killing. That's how I feel.
So did you know that there's a white Mardi Gras downtown and there's a black Mardi Gras here? Did you know that? How long have you been doing Mardi Gras?
Since I was little.
Do you find it? Do you think it's kind of funny that you didn't know that there was a white Mardi Gras downtown and there's no killing, but then you have a black Mardi Gras here and there is violence?
Yeah.
So would you still say that this is a child-friendly event?
Nope.
Why do you think we have this tradition or this pattern of trying to copy the things that our oppressors are doing? Why do you think they do that?
I think it's just like we're limited to the information that we know. So, I mean, you just usually adapt to what we're taught. So if we don't know those things, then we just kind of come accustomed to what's around us. So if my parents didn't bring me to the parade, then I wouldn't know anything about it. So I think it's just like a generational thing. And until we learn like the true roots behind it, then I think we would look at stuff different. And I literally was talking to my kids about this earlier. So I think we would like look at stuff a lot different and move in our truth if we knew the truth, because like they said, if you want us not to know something, put it in the book. We don't take time to read. So
that's good. Now, you know the Bible backs a lot of that, what you said up. You mind if I pull the Bible on you? Okay, let me get Job chapter 8 and verse 8. Let me start off with that, okay? Job chapter 8 and verse 8.
This is the book of Job, chapter 8 and verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age.
So the Bible's telling us to inquire or search, ask questions about the former age, meaning the past. Come on.
And prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
Us as a community, we don't really do that. We deal with what's been laid out in front of us and we go, I'll accept that as truth, or I'll accept that as my tradition or customs. But when we actually dig into the history like the Bible says to do, we find out that that's not according to what we were commanded to do as a people. Is that it on that? All right, now let me get Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31, because this goes to the question I asked you earlier about, are we supposed to be copycatting whatever our oppressors are doing to us? Let's see, come on.
The book of Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
So when you envious of something, a lot of times it's because they have something that you don't have, right? Come on.
And choose none of his ways.
How many?
None of his ways.
So when the Bible instructs us concerning the things that our enemies do, it's telling us we should not do those things. They have their own things and we got ours.
So do you believe that Mardi Gras is a black man's culture?
Yeah.
Do you believe that lawlessness is a black man's culture?
No.
Can I show you in the Bible what is our culture?
Yeah.
Hey, give me Sirach chapter 17, verse 11. Now show them what Bible is this. Show them. What does that say?
King James.
Okay, let this get by real quick. So listen, we were just going over what is our culture, or what our culture should be. Because believe it or not, this is not our culture, right? If you had a choice, would you have this going on in your community?
No, probably not.
Okay, now watch this. This is what your culture is. Read what you got.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 17 and verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge in the law of life for an heritage.
So think about it. Is that a heritage what you see? Do you want that to be your son? If you have a son, do you want that your son to be, that's his heritage? Do you want your son to be doing the things that you see right now?
No.
What about your daughter?
No.
Okay, would you want this to be your heritage? Read it again.
Besides this, he gave them knowledge in the law of life for an heritage.
Would you want a law of life like thou shalt not kill?
Yes, sir.
Would you want a law that says thou shalt not steal?
Yes, sir.
What about thou shalt not commit adultery? Would you want that law?
Yes, sir.
Well, guess what? The Bible said that that's our heritage, right? So guess what? In actuality, did you know Mardi Gras is translated to Fat Tuesday? Did you know that?
Yeah.
You knew that. So did you know that's a part of the Catholic Church?
No.
You see what I'm saying? So once you start diving deeper into Mardi Gras and things like that, you'll realize that that's not your heritage. The Bible is your heritage, all right?
Who do I have the pleasure of speaking to today?
King George.
King George. All right. So, King George, you from around here?
Yeah, I'm from around here.
Okay, well, you from Trinity Gardens or from somewhere else?
Well, I'm from right across the other side. I'm from Toberville.
Okay.
Yeah, right there the street over, you know, it's all home to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how long you been attending this here parade?
Since it started.
Since it started?
Yeah.
Okay. When did it start?
Ooh. I can't just tell you that. I've been since it started for me after 2017, after I got out of prison.
Okay. So, do you know any of the history behind why we doing what we doing out here in Trinity Gardens?
No, I just know it's a community thing. You know, it's always like family in Trinity Garden. You know, a lot of people are related, and it's just a lot of love in the garden. You know, for real.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we come out here, unfortunately, even though it is somewhat of a loving atmosphere, there's also the ugly side of it too, right? Because we've been out here before, folks gotten shot, right?
Okay. Well, you know, the streets are the streets, and you know. Hey, what happened in the street, stay in the street, you know, so when it goes, sometimes, you know, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know. Not saying that it's just supposed to go down like that, you know, but the streets are the streets. And real just recognize real and being real, you know, if you out here, you out here.
Okay.
You know. It's two sides to everything, you know, and just being in the streets, everybody know the streets gonna be here when we dead and gone.
Chin up, let me. If we go to prison for the rest of our life, whoop they do.
So I got another question for you about the parade itself.
Yeah.
Now, are you aware that there's another separate parade where it's mostly white people at during this time?
During this time? Well, I don't know whether it's white people, but I know it's another parade. Yeah, in the Hillsdale community. Yeah.
In downtown Mobile?
Well, no. Well, that I don't know.
Okay.
That I don't know. You know, so it's a lot of things that I'm lacking on. If I, you know, but hey, I guess it's just like that sometimes, to everybody's culture. If they got one, and it's strictly, where it's more white people at, not trying to say it and be on the racist issue enough, but, but it could be, hey, I understand. Everybody does something a little separate sometimes.
So do you think that there's a reason why that is? Why there's, separate parades where it's mostly white folks and then there's another parade for just us? Do you think there's something behind that?
Well, no, I'm not going to say that it's not something, because, in the hood, everybody's invited to the hood.
Okay.
Everybody's invited to the hood.
So I like that you said that, because is everybody invited to the white neighborhoods though?
I ain't gonna say that, but a man of my character, hey, I'm gonna go, and if they don't want me there, you know what I'm saying? I remove myself.
Okay, so that's really the key about why we're talking about what we're talking about, because when you look into the history behind this particular celebration, we're talking about Mardi Gras in general. What you see is it did get started in Mobile. You familiar with that history?
Yes.
What year did it get started in Mobile? Are you aware of that?
I just seen it on the news the other day, and you asked that question.
It was in 1703.
Okay.
1703. Now, where were we at in 1703?
1703, we were nowhere to be found.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
We was around. Now, what were we doing in 1703?
Yeah, our culture, our people, and at the time, we was in slavery.
So, at the time that this particular event was created, we were in chains. So, do you think they let the slaves celebrate with them?
No doubt, bro. They didn't do that.
Okay.
They didn't do that.
So then, why now are we celebrating a holiday or a tradition that our oppressors are celebrating? Why are we doing it?
Well, when it comes down to, I wish I really could answer that question from the root and, be more straightforward to that. But me as an African American, as a young black man, seriously, we celebrate life regardless of what. And, we love to enjoy ourselves. So that's the most that I can say as far as that we celebrate. And, just at some point in time, I'm pretty sure that this had played a part with that to make this happen like this. We always been looked upon. We always been looked upon. But at this time, hey, we make it happen. And, unfortunately, we got good people in the neighborhood and everywhere out through that make it happen for the ones who can't come, who can't attend, and the ones who can't get their kids there to bring it to the community.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Did you know the Bible talks about exactly what the conversation we having right now?
Well, I can't say.
Let me show you. Give me Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. Give me Jeremiah 17:4. Come on. Step back. Here we go. It's Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. Read that.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself.
So this was the Lord speaking to Jeremiah, and he's saying, you, even yourself, and your people with you, come on,
shall discontinue from thine heritage.
So God said that we would discontinue from the heritage that what?
That I gave thee.
Now, God said that he gave us a particular heritage, not something that we were given by our oppressors, but that we received from the Lord. Can you name some of those things that we got from God?
As in, God gave us so much.
I'm going to show you in the Bible. Watch this. Come on.
The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 17 and verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance.
So he gave us the laws of God for inheritance, which are the laws of life. Now, in the law, you find certain things like Passover, right? Do black people keep that?
Can you repeat that?
Passover. Do black folks keep Passover?
No.
Say what?
No.
Okay. What about Feast of Dedication? You ever heard of that? Black people keeping the Feast of Dedication?
The Feast of Dedication. I hadn't got that deep into it.
Okay. Watch this. This is the New Testament. Give me John chapter 10 and verse 22. Christ celebrated the Feast of Dedication.
Okay.
Christ celebrated Passover. The Last Supper. was during Passover. Yes, sir. Read.
The book of John, chapter 10 and verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of the dedication, and it was winter. And Jesus walked in the temple in Solomon's porch.
So you see that? Christ celebrated the Feast of Dedication, which is what we're not been taught to do, which is what God told us to do according to the law of life, aka our heritage. But now, we don't celebrate our heritage. We celebrate the things that's been given to us. You understand that?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel understanding that history now?
Well, it gives you something more to look at, and then, that was out of the New Testament that you just read there too, right?
Yes, sir.
And a lot of us get a lot of wisdom and knowledge from the Old Testament, and this is stuff, because I'm just really finding myself with Jesus Christ like that. I was born and raised in the church, but as an entrepreneur, businessman, sometimes you got to turn to him and you got to be there. Can't make it without him.
Yeah.
Can't make it without him. I done been out here in these streets. I done been out everywhere. And it's just a time of change. God, let me be blessed to make it 51 years old. And I done did everything that I most possibly could do to just enjoy life. And now it's just at the point, the same way they give back to the neighborhood now, but I'm trying to make room for the give back to my community as well.
Yes, sir. All praise to the Most High. So I just want to leave you with this one thing. Give me Leviticus 18 and 30. So the Bible says, because we know that the ways of the other nations are not what God gave us, God said there's some instructions that we have to do behind that. Give me Leviticus 18:30.
Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 30. Therefore shall ye keep mine ordinance.
So remember, God gave us the laws of life for an heritage, right? And here he calls those same things the ordinances. Come on.
Did ye commit not any of these abominable customs?
You see that? God said we're not supposed to commit any of the abominable customs from the other nations. Come on.
Which were committed before you.
Which were committed when?
Before you.
Was Mardi Gras committed before us? Yeah, absolutely. Come on.
And that ye defile not yourselves therein.
You see that? God said that those customs that was committed before us defile us. Come on.
I am the Lord your God.
And because God said not to do those things, guess what we need to do?
Not do those things.
You're exactly right.